be sparking and rushing mad like inside the dark. Call me Bill Snatcher, just a brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my sacred life.
In the last True Power video that I did on Daruwi, a lot of you guys asked me to cover more of the current generation of 5 Kage, which made me realize I need to clarify something for a lot of the newer subscribers to the channel. Now, contrary to popular belief of quite a few people, I've already done videos on Hokage Naruto, Chojuro, and Daruwi. The only 2 Kage of the current generation that I still need to cover are Gaara and Kurotsuchi. Now, given that I've gone so far as to state that Daruwi was criminally underrated, I felt like this was the obvious choice to follow up Daruwi, being Kurotsuchi, simply because I find that a lot of people don't realize how strong as well as how skilled of a fighter that she is. Now, let's be clear about something, okay? So I blame a huge part of this on the Mitsuki desertion arc in the anime, which basically saw Kurotsuchi be placed into the background and held captive for the sake of allowing plot to progress so Boruto and his team could continue their exploits. So in today's installment of the True Power series, I want to shed light on the insanely true power of Kurotsuchi, the fourth Tsuchikage of the Hidden Stone Village. Now, being the descendant of the very first Tsuchikage and the granddaughter of Inoki, the third Tsuchikage, Kurotsuchi has quite the shoes to fill as the fourth Kage in the history of her village. However, contrary to her laid-back and easygoing personality, beneath that surface lies a very ferocious fighter whenever she's pissed off, and you caught glimpses of her temper in Boruto Naruto Next Generations, though it should be worth noting that one of her deepest flaws as a character is her arrogance, which was on full display during the Fourth Great Ninja War and on a couple of occasions during the events of the Kakashi Hiden novel, as well as in the events of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. On top of her lava release Kage Genkai, Kurotsuchi also possesses mastery over fire release, earth release, water release, and has extreme mastery over yin release, to the point where in the Boruto movie novelization, it is flat out stated that out of all the Kage, she has the strongest genjutsu skills, and it's not even close when it comes to the gap when it comes to genjutsu. However, while this could lead some of you guys thinking that she's more of a support type ninja and she isn't physically strong, this is far from the truth. In the Boruto movie, Kurotsuchi was able to send Kinshiki Atsuki flying all the way across the battlefield with a single punch. This in itself is really impressive, given the fact that Kinshiki was written to possess enough brute strength that he can split a planet in half in the Boruto movie data book that was released to support the Boruto movie, and it's not that too far-fetched when you think about it. In the novelization for the Boruto anime, it was revealed that Momoshiki could actually destroy planets, so the idea that Kinshiki can split a planet in half isn't too hard to believe. The fact that she was able to send Kinshiki flying back that far is a huge testament to her power. Now, going even further into the novelization for the Boruto movie, Kinshiki himself actually complimented Kurotsuchi during his internal monologue, stating that she wasn't given the title Kage only for show, and he acknowledged that the combined efforts of Kurotsuchi and of Chojuro had destroyed most of his body, and that he only had a few minutes left to live, and that it was in that moment that he decided to give himself to Momoshiki, who was simultaneously being pressured by the tag team of Naruto and Sasuke and Daruwi and Gaara. While she was fighting beside Chojuro, the fact that Kinshiki directly praised her power and was near death after fighting both Chojuro and Kurotsuchi is pretty impressive when it comes to her power increase, going from a character who 15 years ago couldn't defeat Kabuto in a battle and being able to hand out serious damage to an Asushi clan member 15 years later is really impressive in my book. There's a reason why during the Boruto era that Kurotsuchi has a legend of taking down a large portion of the Zetsu army, and why legend says that she didn't flinch at the sight of 100,000 white Zetsu army. While her efforts aren't as flashy as Minato wiping out 1,000 ninja in the blink of an eye, Kurotsuchi is credited with killing a large number of Zetsu in the war arc. Her intelligence as a fighter isn't to be underestimated either. Kurotsuchi has shown that she can quickly turn a defensive jutsu like her rock dome jutsu and find a way to use it as a shield for cover to tunnel underground or impale her target with the massive earth spikes that shoot up from underground and impale her target. Using her earth release jutsu, she's shown herself being capable of taking down several enemies at once using the pillar jutsu and still possess enough stamina to keep fighting afterwards. As Tsuchikage, she's developed her skill over lava release Kage Genkai to the the point of being at extreme mastery. Her Earth style rock shelter jutsu is a defensive jutsu in nature, but it's still really impressive nonetheless. So after surrounding her entire area with earth, she's able to create a dome to protect herself and her allies depending on the amount of chakra that she uses, and she can either protect her allies all under one dome, or she can create several domes to protect her allies simultaneously. Her lava style ash stone ceiling jutsu is formed when she concentrates her chakra, molding the required natures to form lava release, and after she does so, she shoots out a giant sweeping cloud of ash that quickly ensnares her target, wrapping them up tightly and restraining their movements. With more chakra being poured into it, she's able to completely bind the movements of even the strongest of foes, as shown when she was able to hold down Kinshiki for a pretty substantial amount of time during their battle in the Boruto movie, the anime, and the manga and the novel. Her earth release eruption evacuation jutsu can be both used as an offensive or as a supplemental jutsu. Using her chakra, Kurotsuchi draws up the very earth of itself from the deepest depths of the underground and does so with blinding speed, which catches her targets off guard, sending them flying through the air pretty quick at high levels of speed. During the war arc, she often needed the help of a second person in order to perform this attack. Between the ninja war and the battle with Kinshiki, Kurotsuchi has now grown more powerful, and she's now likely able to bring out the full capacity of the attack on her own, reaching maximum potential, which means even the smaller pillars that were used to take down multiple Zetsu all at once are likely packing one hell of a punch now. Her hiding like a mole jutsu allows her to hide underground, tunnel underground, and using the shifting magnetic forces of the earth, she's able to track the movements of her target and launch sneak attacks from underground, which when combined with her rock dome jutsu, it allows her to hide herself before the enemy realizes it, and it allows her the perfect opportunity to either to escape, or she's able to use her pillar jutsu to launch a sneak attack from underground via the eruption evacuation jutsu. So the rock fist jutsu is a jutsu that a lot of you guys are familiar with. So essentially it's just like it sounds. So basically what she does is she wraps her entire arm in earth release chakra that forms a giant rock, and despite the massive power that she's dealing out with the enhanced attack, her body doesn't undergo any type of physical damage. And here's a little fun fact for you guys. So depending on the amount of chakra that she pumps into the attack, the heavier that the rock will actually become, which in turn makes the amount of damage that she deals out to be all that more powerful. Now her lava release quicklime jutsu shoots out a large amount of quicklime from her mouth to dole out serious damage to her enemy, which is pretty impressive given the fact that under the right conditions, quicklime can actually reach temperatures that exceed over 300 degrees, but again, it has to be under the right conditions with the right circumstances, and in some cases, depending on the conditions themselves, quicklime can be a combustible component. Now for Kurotsuchi, she mainly uses the jutsu to restrict the movements of her target, and oftentimes she uses it binding them in the aftermath of the attack in order to restrict their movements with a substance that is essentially turning them into a stone statue because it acts like cement and they're not able to move their legs. And if she does add enough water release chakra to the attack, she can increase the range of the attack, which means that she can trap dozens of enemies in a cement-like substance in a matter of moments. Now her water release water trumpet jutsu fires off a massive torrent jet stream of water from her mouth after she cups her hand over her mouth, being able to fire off a powerful stream of water that can shoot out well up to 10 meters in length. Now her earth spear jutsu allows her to focus mud and stone and other properties from the ground and turn it into spikes that can either impale her enemies or they can actually disengage them, which does come in handy when fighting multiple enemies all at once. But there is a drawback to this jutsu. Essentially, she can't pierce something that has more of a density than the spears that she's created. Taking a quick look at her skill set, you guys can see why she was chosen to be the new Tsuchikage and why so many people spread the legend that she took down a large number of white Zetsu during the war all by herself. A good majority of her jutsu, when you really look at it, are meant for taking on multiple targets at once simultaneously, and she possesses enough jutsu to restrain her targets that would allow her allies to hand down finishing blows or to take down some of the more troublesome Edo Tensei, which is really impressive given the fact that some of these jutsu for the troublesome Edo Tensei, she can essentially seal them away as far as their movements not being able to move, which then allows the sealing team to seal them away for good. But I want to know from you guys, how do you guys feel about Kurotsuchi as being the new Tsuchikage? That's it for this latest installment of the True Power series. Like a lot of you guys are guessing, I'll be getting around to Gar when it comes to covering my next Kage. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have an awesome day.